So Andy Frisella is right. When you take care of yourself to the degree that you take care of yourself, people notice.
Yeah, it
Right?
definitely
People
sends
notice.
a
It's your
message.
resume. It speaks
Agreed.
for you, right?
Yeah, without you saying a word. I mean, being physically fit is a testament of your standards. When you show up in a room and you are physically fit, you are announcing to that room that you have high standards, that you're disciplined, that you have the ability to be consistent. And you do that, interestingly enough, all without speaking a single word. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
And I honestly do not think I would be in the position I am today if I wasn't as fit as I am. Fitness has been a part of my lifestyle since high school. I've been training for over 25 years and I absolutely love it, man. And it literally improves every single metric of my life in a measurable way.
I love it, bro. And you know what? Two things. One, I actually have a very, very insightful question to ask you a little later on the show.
Please.
Right, which I will, and it's going to help me specifically a lot. But number two is, you know, I want to be one of your biggest nutrition testimonials.
I want that for you
country.
too, man.
You know, I really do, because I'm going to tell you this. That's one thing that I've always struggled with. You know, Mexicans, we love to eat, right? We eat, and you do, right? We love to eat, and you know, brother, for me, I don't get me wrong, I go to the gym 4, 5, sometimes 6 times a week.
Yeah.
But you know, as everybody knows, your diet, your nutrition is 80 to 90% of the battle. So I definitely need your help with
Of course.
that. I want to be one of your biggest testimonies.
I want that for you too, man. And it's funny. It's funny that you say that. Everybody does intuitively know that diet is really important, yet very few people actually adhere to that knowledge. But I always tell people there is absolutely no way for you to create the body that you want to if you are not meal prepping. If you do not have meals prepared going into a day, you are setting yourself up for failure. But the opposite is true as well. If you do have meals prepared and readily available, you're setting yourself up for success. Because if you have clean food readily available at all times, guess what? You're going to eat clean food. But if you do not, and you know, you're grinding, you're working, you go all day without eating, you get super hungry, usually the first thing that's available isn't something that's going to necessarily move you closer to your fitness goals. In fact, it'll often move you further from.
You said that, you know, most people know that they should be doing this. In your experience, I mean, you've been doing this for a while. What do you think the main factor is of why people know they should be doing it but steer away from it?
Man, that's a good question. It's very difficult to answer. So we could go two ways with that. We could go the scenario where somebody who is in the gym all the time but still eats like shit, and if that person didn't tell you they went to the gym, or if you didn't physically see them in the gym, you wouldn't be immediately convinced that they do go to the gym at all. In those scenarios, man, I think that it just comes down to a lack of discipline. Yes, it's better that you're going to the gym than not, but it's easy to go to the gym for 45 minutes to an hour a day. You know, the other 23 hours of the day, you have to be regimented and disciplined with the food. And the thing about nutrition and understanding how to fuel your body systematically to just optimize every area of being. I'm not just talking about having a 6-pack and looking great naked, although that's important because that's directly tied to our confidence and self-esteem and our ability to go and make things happen in the world. Because obviously the more confident and disciplined you are, the more you're willing to take risks and get out there and make shit happen. But I think people in general are just lazy and conforming to what is all around them. And I mean, unfortunate reality is in our current society, 3/4 of the adult population are overweight, 42% are obese. We got a mental health crisis of monumental proportion going on. And those two things, the obesity pandemic and the mental health pandemic, I think they're closely related because your mentality and your physicality are interrelated. Your mental health and your physical health, anybody who tells you that those two things are not synergistically related is fucking delusional.
I just recently went and did a DEXA scan. So, because I started my journey and I was at 35% body fat, which is technically obese. So I'm looking at the stats and it says that for my age group and my height, I'm in the top 5% of Americans obese.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. You know, when by the way, I want you to know that when Zadie was working, he's married, right? I went to his wedding in California when Zadie was working on getting his girlfriend
When I was
to
closing her, yeah.
he was closing his wife. This dude had a 8-pack. This dude, how many miles were you running a day?
6.
6 miles a day this dude was running. I was so impressed with this dude.
Yeah.
Right. And now we're both
Obese.
not where we need to be, right? And we're working on that. And that's why I can't wait to experiment with your nutrition company. But
so just on that note,
yeah.
you don't need nutrition solutions necessarily to get in shape. Obviously, it makes the process a hell of a lot easier. And this is just a really important point for your listeners at home. If you are somebody who is not where you want to be from a physicality standpoint, if you're not proud of the reflection that you see when you look in the mirror naked, the best thing that you can do to not just improve your body, improve your confidence, but to improve your relationships, to improve your mood, to improve your entire quality of life is get in shape.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why high levels of fitness are directly related to higher income. There's been studies, published studies that show conclusively people who are physically fit get paid more than people who are not. And I get it.
Brother, hold on. There's a oof button that I hit when someone drops a dime like that. Right? So you are correlating people that are physically fit to the higher income earners. Is that correct?
Well, there's research.
I believe it, and I would agree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the oof button.
Boom.
And you'll see it right on the show.
Yeah. One of the studies that I read suggested that people who are fit get paid on average a minimum of 9% more than equally qualified counterparts who are not physically fit.
Matt, you better get in shape, brother.
They say that your food, what Carlos said this, he said, your food is your mood.
Yeah.
And if you're going to digest chemically addictive foods that keep people in this trance, right? I think that a lot of stores, I don't want to say their names, but
what do you call it? You call it when you were unconscious?
Unconscious. Yeah. When I was unconscious, you just eat everything, right?
Yeah.
And I think that there are people who hire chemists that they go to and say, how addictive can you make this to where when somebody eats this specific item, they can't let go of it?
Well, that's exactly what they do. And that's what they've been doing for 70 years. And the sad reality is we live in a country that prioritizes power over the well-being of its own citizens.
Control, right?
I mean, there's it's stunning, but there's, certain foods and brands that have the same product in other countries that don't have some of the ingredients that they have in,
or they're banned.
Correct. Like Russia, all GMOs are banned.
Quaker Oats is banned in God knows how many countries.
And there's a reason for that. There's a
Yeah.
fucking reason for that.
Yeah.
But, obviously, I think the last few years, since 2020, I think there's been a collective rise in the consciousness of society. And I think people are starting to understand what is actually going on. We live, without question, the United States is the best country, but it's Americans that make the United States the best country, not the government, not the corruption, not the politics, not the bullshit.
I think here more than anywhere else, we focus on eating just to eat, not to fuel the body,
pleasure,
which is the main purpose of eating.
I think what a good way to say it is people need to be intentional about the decisions they're making with the food they're putting in your body. It is in fact going in your body.
Yeah.
You're putting it in your body. And it's for that reason, as it relates to food, you should maintain brutally high standards because what you eat influences every area of your being, not just how you look. Again, it's not just about having the strong selfie game on Instagram.
Yeah.
That ain't it.
You said something earlier.
Go ahead, Cubs.
By the way, before you do that, we're so, bro, this is turning into, I can already feel the energy. Like I have so many notes. I have so many things that I actually have to tell him or ask him. Right. And we're all like, no, I want to say something. I want to say something. Right. Which is a beautiful thing, by the way, because that's what this is about. Right. Before you get there, this is what I want to say a couple things. One, I want to be the Jared to your Subway. Hold on.
Minus
the pervert aspect of the whole situation. Okay. All right. Number two, one of my dreams, brother. Yeah, one of my dreams has always been to for Halloween to dress up like a Spartan. to dress up like Leonidas. That's been one of my dreams now for about 5 years.
So you want to dress up like Chris?
I want to look like Chris.
So what you're saying is
I want to look
next
like
Halloween.
Chris. You saw the helmet I have on my desk.
I did.
I want to have your body use that helmet and maybe wear something that covers my private area, and that's it.
You're not going to drink
it.
It won't take
That's it. Right?
I love that, by the way.
For real.
And I think your wife will as well.
Hopefully you guys, if you guys are good friends and good brothers in arms, you will hold me accountable to that, right?
Yeah.
So this is the other thing. You were saying something about chemicals and all the ingredients and how the food is banned in other countries. You know, brother, I am a huge advocate and fan of capitalism most of the time.
Yep.
Except when capitalism becomes toxic and self-serving. And in the food industry specifically, I believe that that's where it becomes toxic because of everything, all the poison that is put into the food, right? I'm very conscious of what my kids eat now. And I've been very conscious of what they eat for about 2 years now because of everything, all the poison. I'm constantly sending my wife videos of what Chick-fil-A has going on in their sandwiches, how you can leave a McDonald's or Chick-fil-A sandwich out for 4 years and it's still going to look the same.
That's disgusting.
Right?
Over
That's
60
absolutely disgusting.
Over 60 ingredients in a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
What's your feedback on what I just stated about we love capitalism. This is a capitalistic country.
Right.
However, it becomes toxic when it comes to food specifically.
At the end of the day, it comes down to personal responsibility. Your life is your responsibility. The food that you put in your body is your responsibility. Yes, this is how it is. It's unfortunate that we live in a country where they have no problem contaminating the food supply, contaminating the water supply. But being aware of that gives you the opportunity and ability to not play that little fucking game. You're not going to change it, right? There's not going to be an uprising where, you know, we overthrow big food and they're too powerful. It's just not going to happen.
It's never gonna happen.
No, it's not.
No.
But having an awareness and taking personal responsibility, that is where the transformative effect will happen. And I think everything comes down to taking personal responsibility. People are like, oh, the complain about the food. It's like, well,
no one's forcing you to eat.
You don't have to put it in your mouth.
Not only that, nutrition is too important of a thing for people's well-being, for their quality of life. I mean, how you eat 100% determines how you look. And what I mean by that is it could either make you look 10 years older than you are or 10 years younger than you are. It's totally up to you. And at the end of the day, when it comes to the food that we're putting in our body, I can't say it enough. You got to raise your standards. I mean, you know, having high standards is important in all areas of life, and it's easier to have high standards in all areas of life than have high standards with this and low standards with that and just kind of be sloppy like that. But I think the nutrition, eating better, that's like the lowest hanging fruit of what somebody can start to do to start getting their life trending in the right direction.
Yeah. One thing I love about you is, and I don't know how much you spend monthly now, but I've learned that you make your team, everybody that works with you, they have to work out. Is it weekly? Is it monthly?
Yeah.
And you pay them to do it, right?
Of course.
Wow.
Yeah. So we are, in fact, a lifestyle transformation company at Nutrition Solutions. What type of hypocrite CEO would I be if my team were a bunch of fat, lazy, gelatinous, just average humans? One of our primary core values is lead by example. And yeah, I absolutely pay my team to work out. We do 2 organized workouts per week. They're doing little mini workouts all throughout the day. That was inspired by my time in the military. I was very fortunate to be in a community that prioritized fitness, the Navy diving community, the community I was in for 5 years. Physical fitness, the standards of physical fitness were higher than the rest of the military. And I was very fortunate because every day we would be given like an hour and a half to work out before we actually had to go to work. And the reason they did that is because at some point in human history, somebody recognized that allowing your team to work out is going to create a scenario where you have a fitter, more productive, more inspired team member. And there's 0 exceptions to that rule. So yeah, I wouldn't say I force the team to work out. However, I would say that it's advised. And if you don't, I mean, if what are you doing here? If you don't want to take advantage of paid workouts.
Yeah.
We give free meals to the team when they're on shift. I have top shelf supplements available all day, every day. They have access to for free.
Why would you not do it?
Why would you not do that?
I got a question. Would you fire anyone if they weren't doing that? It's like, hey, bro, you're not.
I was just gonna.
You're
ask
not
him.
doing what we need to be doing.
Yeah.
So you got to go.
Would you fire? Would you be like Andy Elliott and fire someone if they don't have a six?
Yeah. So we have, so we actually have a policy in place for the guys. If you work in nutrition solutions and you're a man, you have to do 60 push-ups. You have to be physically able to do 60 push-ups. Now,
wait, in a row?
Correct.
In a row.
In a row.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying you have to show up day one and be able to do that.
Brother, I'm saying in one sitting though, because we had a little push-up competition up in Utah a few months ago. Me, Sal, and Chris Crone, and I did about 55 in a row. But I didn't get to 60, and I actually work out, like I said, 4 to 5 times.
But if you're not doing push-ups often, it's kind of a different thing.
Okay.
It's kind of a different thing. But if you want to get your push-up game up, man, I can help you with that.
I think push-ups.
That's minimum. That's the minimum standard. But look, we got to have standards, right? We got to have standards, especially.
I'm going to send you videos of me walking into Carlos's office and tell him to get down and give us 60.
I love it. Yeah, 60. It used to be 50. The minimum standard for push-ups at Nutrition Solutions for a man used to be 50. But as you evolve, you got to raise the standard, and that's exactly what we have done. But the short answer is yes. Although I don't think there's ever been a scenario where, we let somebody go, parted ways with somebody specifically because they weren't showing up to the workouts.
Yeah.
Right. But historically, when we have had people who didn't show up to the workouts, they were also the ones who were underperforming. They were the ones who were late. They were the ones who, moved slow. They were the ones who didn't solve problems, but constantly stated them. And again, I think that just kind of brings us back to the point earlier about the direct connection between success and fitness. A fitter employee is without question a more productive employee. They're going to be in a better mood. They're going to have better energy. They're going to operating at a much higher level, which will in turn elevate the game and the performance of all the people around them. And I said to you when I came in here, man, I love how you guys have the boys on the phone, all in that open quarters where everybody's kind of feeding off everybody else's energy. You've got a little bit of element of competition going there. It's absolutely phenomenal. Competition it's a beautiful thing, especially for guys.
Healthy thing.
Yeah, it's a healthy thing. It's a necessary thing if you want to win.
Brother, back to what you said about personal responsibility. The way that I see it, how does a human being consume, right? I believe that it's only three ways. Through our eyes, right? What we see, what we watch, right? Our eyes are the windows to the soul, right?
Yep.
Through our ears, what we listen to on a daily basis, who we listen to on a daily basis, and most importantly, through our mouth, right? I mean, outside of that, how else does a human being consume? And I believe that all three of them are equally as important. What do you think about
I agree.
that?
No, I 100% agree. And what you're talking about is basically the law of exposure, just explained in a different way. What you expose yourself to determines how you feel, how you think, and inevitably what you become. So it's for that reason you should be very mindful of what information you're putting in your brain, the people you're surrounding yourself with,